Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Posted Up with Chris Haynes podcast here on Yahoo Sports. Look, playoffs are going on right now, but another thing that's going on that tends to happen during the playoff, well, not tends to, it always does, is coaching searches and we're hearing about head coaches, or we're hearing about a lot of assistants getting opportunities to interview for head coaching jobs. We're hearing about other head coaching candidates where they may be recycled head coaches getting other opportunities, but all of that tends to go on during the playoffs. And I got a candidate right here. I'm not gonna say a candidate. He will be a candidate pretty soon. This brother is definitely going to move up the coaching ranks. You guys know him from his playing days. I'm talking about the Jet, Jason Terry. Look. I want to say this right now. This brother right here, I've been trying to get on for a minute. We've often talked about it for a while, but Terry, man, like, brother, how you doing? First of all, how are you and the family? What's going on?
Oh, we're doing well, man. First of all, it's definitely an honor to be able to come on your show. Tremendous respect for you and the work you do covering our great sport, the NBA. And you're one of the real ones in the game, man. So I appreciate you having me on today.
Yeah, I appreciate that, brother. It means a lot coming from you. And for people that don't know, you're the head coach of the Grand Rapids, the G League. Just tell me about, like, we're going to get into the coaching chatter around the league real quick, but just tell me about what inspires you to get into the coaching fraternity. Because I think a lot of people, once you retire or when you were on the cusp of retire, they thought you may enter the front office. What led you to coaching?
Well, I got to give a lot of credit to the great men that I've come in contact with that have coached me throughout their career, that continue to be mentors in my life. You know, guys like Avery Johnson, Rick Carlisle, Jason Kidd, even the great late Lute Olson, were mentors of mine that had an impact on me as a young man as I navigated my ways through life. And so for me, coaching is about impacting lives, mentoring, teaching, and inspiring men and empowering young men or women to take ownership in their journey through life. And I've had a great joy in doing so. I've done it at all levels now. AAU women's basketball, high school girls basketball, assistant coach at the University of Arizona, and now at the G League level, coaching the Grand Rapids Gold. And so I'm enjoying life, man. It's my passion and it's my purpose that God has given me, and that is to impact lives and continue to do so using basketball as a platform.
When did you know in your career, when did you know that this would be your calling?
Well, it started back when I was coaching AAU girls basketball. My daughter was in about sixth grade. And so for every summer in my off seasons, I would go out driving a 15-passenger van across the country with those young ladies. And, as they aspired to gain those college scholarships, it was all about having fun, winning, and teaching the basic fundamentals of the game, but also teaching life lessons. And so, throughout my career, I continued to do it. And then towards the latter part of my career, I would say my last 4 years, I was able to serve somewhat as a player coach in Houston under Kevin McHale and JB Bickerstaff, and then in Milwaukee under Jason Kidd and his staff with the Milwaukee Bucks. So that's what kind of lit the fire. And, it's been great ever since.
Started from the grassroots. There's a lot of coaches that have coached in the NBA. They don't have that background right there. So I think that speaks to the passion and love you have for the coaching profession. Now, obviously, you do desire to be a head coach one day in this league. Is that correct?
No doubt about it. I mean, the dream ideal job for me is to go back home and coach my Seattle Sonics when they ever get an opportunity to have a team back. But immediate goals is definitely to be a assistant bench coach and work my way up and then become a head coach for some lucky NBA franchise that would love to have me. So that's what the goal is. I wouldn't rule out going back to college and coaching at the Division I level, being a head coach or assistant. But, right now my eyes and focus are on the NBA.
Well, and that's definitely the trajectory. Let me ask you about, some of these jobs that's available right now. We have the Lakers job, Jet. We have Sacramento. They're down to 3 finalists. That's Mark Jackson, Mike Brown, and I believe, I believe it's D'Antoni. My producer, you may have to get in my ear or send me a message. I believe it's D'Antoni, that third guy. And then there's position in Charlotte. But in particular, Jay, I want to get your perspective as a young coach coming up in the field, coming up in the ranks. That Laker job in particular. There's a lot of people that say, man, you stay away from that job. You stay away from, there's a lot going on over there. You're not putting yourself, you wouldn't be put in the best situation. But for a guy, there's only 30 of these teams. So as a young potential coaching candidate, Jet, how do you look at a position like that when you may have people saying, hey, you're not getting the best situation? Or, how do you even scout a role over there? Like, walk me through that process and how you evaluate something like that.
Well, for me, to me, every situation is going to be different. Your ability as a coach to be able to adapt and adjust to any situation that's given to you will dictate your immediate success. Obviously personnel is important, but laying down your building blocks for your organization, what are your non-negotiables? What is your core values? What is your system? If you have that stern and you stick to it and you believe in it and you have the support staff around you, coaching staff, management, ownership, and all your goals align, then you're able to do your job and do it at a high level. I don't care where it's at, Charlotte, LA, Sacramento, wherever that may be. I never look at any situation as if this is not like a fit for me, or this is not the perfect scenario, because you don't know until you get into that situation. But I always go into every opportunity I have very optimistic and very confident, knowing that I have the skill set with my experience, right, playing and coaching, that I can go in and get the job done and do it well.
There have been a few, Jet. There have been a few coaches. I'm going to ask this question to set you up for the next question.
Mm-hmm.
There have been a few coaches that went straight from playing to being a head coach. You've been, Jason Kidd was somebody who's done that as well, who you worked with. What do you think of that? What does it take? First of all, what does it take for a candidate like that to succeed in the league? Like, what type of values or principles does that coach have to entail in order to even get a role like that right out of playing?
Well, coaching at any level, whether it be grassroots, high school, college, NBA, you have to have the ability to manage people, the ability to connect with your players, and the ability to understand and get people to buy in to what your philosophy is. What are your core values? What is your system? If you can get people to buy into the message that you're giving out and understand that every day is about getting better and competing to play at the highest level, then you will have success. And, for me, I look at those situations that you presented, and, all those teams, have the talent. They just need the voice. A guy that can come in and command the room and have the ultimate respect from everybody that they're working with. And, guys get opportunities in our league, and life is about failure. Life is about learning from, the situation being. I look directly at Jason Kidd and what he went through, making that transition from player to coach and not having any coach's experience, but he learned from each step along the way. In Brooklyn, he had a veteran-laden team. He had to learn how to manage egos. Then he goes to Milwaukee. He had a young team. He had to learn how to player development, learn how to build character, how to build guys up and pour into guys, and how to teach the game. So now he gets a team in Dallas where he has a fine balance and a mix of both. So had he not had those other two experiences and weren't given that opportunity, he would not have the success that he's having in Dallas now. So, no situation is going to be perfect, but I always say you can't gain valuable experience if you don't get the opportunity to have that experience. And so whether you're a player that's former player like myself with 19 years of playing experience, that's been in management, that's been in coaching, and now is starting at the G League and working his way up, or whether it's a guy fresh out going right to the bench like a Jason Kidd, a Derek Fisher, those type of guys, Steve Nash. It doesn't matter. You still have to get that opportunity. You still have to get that experience.
Those are good points you made. I took some notes down, Jet. You said that coach has to have a voice and
Yep.
automatically command the respect of the locker room because he might not have that experience, and that's something that's going to carry you away. And we see with Jason Kidd, those are good points you made with the stops he had that prepared him
Mm-hmm.
for the success he's having here in Dallas. Now, that question I want to get to you about, I know you're in the coaching fraternity, so I understand the sensitivity of it, but I got to ask, what do you think about the job Steve Nash has done this season?
Well, I think Steve Nash has been dealt a hand with a lot of different variables. I mean, when you have a roster, and I'm going through it in the G League, our roster turns over daily, even weekly, daily, monthly. I mean, we got new guys coming in and out all the time. You know, he started with a system that was catered toward 3 superstars. Halfway through the season, they make a change. Now you got 2 superstars. And a lot of times throughout the course of the year, he had 1 superstar. So his ability to kind of manage and navigate a season where, you know, you have injuries or you have a trade or you have a guy that you thought you would have and is not there, it shows a lot of character. It shows that, you know, he has the ability to adapt and adjust, and those are strong characteristic traits of a champion. You know, though he didn't win a championship as a player, he was a 2-time MVP, and he wouldn't have that skill set if he didn't go through that as a player. So, you know, I commend him for the job he's done. And, you know, it may not have shown in the playoffs. They aspired to, you know, be champions, but they did make the playoffs. They played through the play-in game, and they were dealt with a lot of adversity. So, you know, I commend him. You know, it's easy to sit here on the other side of the table or the other side of the fence and say, oh, man, I could do a better job than him. Well, you don't know that until you're put in that position. You know, he'll probably tell you as well, like, there's some things he could have done better. There's some things that he's proud of that he accomplished this year. But, you know, the verdict won't even be out on Steve Nash until he's had 5 or 6 or even 7 years in the league. I had a great experience when I first got to Dallas, and Avery Johnson took over midway through my first year in Dallas for Don Nelson. Now, immediately, Avery commanded the room. He got the respect of the locker room, and he had immediate success that translated into us in year 2 going to the NBA Finals. And that was just a different situation. That is not a perfect situation for any new coach coming in, taking over a situation. So, again, Steve Nash, to me, has done a decent job, and he can only get better with more and more reps.
I'm here with Jason Terry on the Posted Up with Chris Haynes podcast here on Yahoo Sports. Jet, when you look at the landscape of the league now, and I believe this season, I could be wrong again, but I believe this season we had the most black head coaches in the NBA. And I think you look at the playoffs, it was just loaded up, you know, with representation, black representation in the head coaching ranks in the postseason. As of right now, with the 6 teams remain standing in the playoffs right now, 3 of those African American coaches: Monty Williams, Doc Rivers, and yes, every time I say yes, Jason Kidd is black. Yes, he is. Every time I swear, every time I mention something about Jason Kidd being a black coach or whatever, Twitter just erupts. Jason Kidd is black? No, he's not. No, you know, I'm like, Jason Kidd, yes. Jason Kidd is in the black category. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
That's funny.
What does that say, Jet? You think it's just about, you know, because, you know, often, you know, me and, you know, my brother Mark Spears, David Aldridge, you know, we do our part to make sure that we draw awareness to the fact that there needs, and we're not just doing it just to fill a color quota. You know, there are prime head coaching black candidates out there that should get a look. And oftentimes you see the same coaches recycled. But when you look at the numbers now and look at the representation in the playoffs, what do you feel better about the prospects in the landscape that is probably just more balanced than it was before?
No doubt about it. And I played for 2 of those men, Doc Rivers and Jason Kidd, right? And so for me, the stigma or the perception that, you know, black or African-American coaches aren't able or astute to do the job, to me is just is totally disrespectful. But that narrative is changing. With the more jobs that are open, the more opportunity has presented itself. And I am proud to say today that, in the NBA, half our coaches are African American. I'm saying head coaches that are sitting head coaches on the bench are African Americans. Now, just because you're African American, just because you're white, doesn't mean you're capable of doing a great job. And, to me, it always goes back to impacting lives. And then at the end of the day, we play for the win. I was blessed and fortunate enough to be able to win a championship at every single level that I've competed at. And, that's what I aspire to do as a head coach as well. And I look at my brother, Tyronn Lue. He sat under Doc Rivers for a couple of years. I was in Boston when he was there as an assistant coach. And I can just remember sitting by him at shoot-around in the Boston Garden. And he was just sitting there looking like dejected, because he had been an assistant coach for 4 or 5 years, and his opportunity, to get an interview even for a job had not come up yet. And I just told him, I said, man, stay steadfast to your dreams. Don't ever be discouraged, right? And then 2 or 3 years later, he ends up in Cleveland, wins the championship, and now he's in with the Clippers. And I'll never forget that day. He served as one of my mentors as well. So, very proud of those men. Those African-American men that are doing the job in those positions. They are paving the way for young and up-and-coming coaches like myself. And so, again, like I said, man, opportunity is everything. And as long as we're given the opportunity and it's a fair playing ground, we're more than capable to be able to display, our basketball acumen, our ability to connect with the players, our ability to teach, to mentor, because that's really what truly coaching is all about.
For sure. And let me correct myself, the 8 teams that are standing, and one more person to that list, Ime Udoka over there with the Boston Celtics. So we're definitely doing our thing out there. Jet, before you go real quick, I want to talk about your trajectory. You did the grassroots, you're in the G League doing your thing right now. When do you feel you're ready to put your name out there, to put your name in the ring to fill one of these head coaching situations? Do you feel like it's a matter of time before somebody reaches out to you and thinks you're a prize, or do you feel like you're ready right now?
Well, I'm definitely ready right now with the experiences that I've had. And again, not everybody is. I'm just that special case that, I study the game. I'm a student of it. But my ability to connect with this generation, because I played with this generation and I bridged that gap for so many years in my playing career. I kind of understand their thought process and what goes behind motivating them each and every day. So, for me, X's and O's, that's something I do naturally. But being able to get the best or get the most out of whatever talent is given, and then the ability to adapt and adjust to any situation that is given as well is something I do very well. So, I'm excited. God holds the keys. He knows when my time is right. But if somebody asked me today to come in and lead their organization, I can tell you I can go in fully confident that I'm able to do the job.
No doubt about that. I love that response. And I'll definitely be shouting your name from the rooftops, man, when it's time, brother. You
Yes,
already
sir.
know that. Real quick, let me get your prediction real quick. The teams that's left standing right now, who do you see in the finals and who do you see coming away with it?
I watch the playoffs, which I do. I watch every game. Phoenix Suns are on a mission, right? I'm a homer. I love my Mavericks. It's going to take something special from the group for them to knock off Phoenix. But, Phoenix is on a mission. I can see them playing Golden State in the next round. And I just think the presence of DeAndre Ayton and then JaVale McGee backing him up give them a presence that no other team standing really has. And then if you look at the Eastern Conference, the Milwaukee Bucks are a physical team, right? They have the championship experience. And then to me, they have the best player in basketball right now, and that's Giannis Antetokounmpo. His ability to impact the game, not only on the offensive end, with his ability to get to the basket and put pressure on the paint and then facilitate. It's the defense. Like, he sets the tone defensively as a rim protector. He'll lock down positions 1 through 5. Like, that to me is the guy. Like the way he
Mm-hmm.
goes, his team goes, and he's the leader of that ship, and he's motivated, man. His screensaver when I played in Milwaukee, his first year, I snuck in his locker. I took a peek at his phone. His screensaver was the Larry O'Brien Trophy. And so
Wow.
from there, it just told me, like, this cat's different. You know, other guys
Yeah.
might have had jewelry, family. His screensaver was the Larry O'Brien Trophy.
Wow.
So that just shows you how committed and dedicated he is to his craft and to being a champion. And
what
so
year was that, Jet?
Go ahead. That was in
what year?
2017. So this is the year
Wow.
before, 2 years before he became the MVP of the league.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just look at those two teams as being strong. I won't count out the Warriors now. You know, when I watch games and I'm looking for somebody to watch, I'm watching the Warriors, man. Not only do they have championship pedigree, but you know, as me as a shooter, like they got some of the best shooters in the world. And now you throw in a healthy Clay and a Jordan Poole, just the way they play the game to me is what I'm inspired by. And so, you know, I won't rule Golden State out, but you got to look at what Chris Paul has done. You know, how can you look at Chris Paul's career and not say he's a Hall of Famer? I don't care if he never wins a championship. You know, his leadership, his ability to impact winning, to me, makes him a Hall of Famer, not to mention all the accolades that go along with it. But that performance he had the other night, you know, it just seems like he's on a mission that he's not going to be denied this time around. And I had that feeling, you know, losing the finals in 05, 06, and then it took me 5 years to get back. He may have that opportunity this year to get back that next year and really do something special. So, you know, whoever ends up, those teams I named, be pretty good to watch. Love Boston, though. Love the growth and development of their two young superstars. I love Ime, my big brother Damon Stoudemire is an assistant on that bench. So I'm proud of the job those men are doing. And it won't be long before those guys, you know, get to that championship level as well.
Jet, so what else brings you here, brother?
Well, I'm very happy to be partnering with a new and up-and-coming technology company called Flexit. It's a virtual personal training app wherever, whenever. You get a virtual personal trainer at your needs, whenever, and they can take you through a rigorous workout, man. I had my first workout yesterday, and I can tell you right now, they push you like no other. As a professional athlete for many years, I had the luxury of having somewhere there to aid and assist me in my health and wellness, right? Every single day I had a coach there to help me get through it. Now that I'm out the game, I mean, where do I get that motivation from? You know, I am a self-motivated person, but when it comes to health and wellness, I always need that extra push. And that's where the Flexit platform serves that purpose. So it's for anybody, it's for everybody. And it's a great technology that's up and coming and that people utilize.
Jet, I appreciate your time, brother, man. Best of luck to you on your future endeavors, man. You know I'll be rooting and pulling for you, brother.
Yes, sir. Continued success with you as well. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you, Jet. I hope you enjoyed that episode, man. He gave you a bunch of wealth and knowledge just about just the path ahead for potential head coaches in this league, and particularly black head coaches in this league. So hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy the playoffs. We'll check back with you soon. Peace.